That's in a bit.
And we're live.
Your enthusiasm. I got a job for you if you're looking to keep busy. Here are the details.
Roger. Funky music brought to you by the brothers at New Soul. Welcome back.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Soul Talk, where we talk to our citizens and members of the community. I'm joined with my co-host. Wait, you're not Griffin? Hi, Zen. What are you doing here?
Snuck in. Yep. I'm an illegal immigrant in the Soul Talk show opening. Let's do it.
How are you doing, Kai?
I'm fantastic. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. For people, don't worry about Griffin. He's on his way. He had to make a stop off. He'll be back in a bit. So don't worry about Griffin. He's good. Yeah. So how's the week been, Kai?
Fantastic. There is so much stuff to talk about with with Star Citizen, but I'm not going to give any spoilers or whatever. There's been some amazing, really good sci-fi out that I've been enjoying the hell out of, and some good stuff going on in No Man's Sky as well. It's been a great week.
Yeah, I heard you had a great show on Friday.
Did we? I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good show. I'm super psyched for the one tomorrow where we're gonna talk about all kinds of stuff. But I'm just as psyched for hearing everybody's thoughts on all this stuff tonight.
I was gonna say, you're not psyched about tonight?
Hell yeah! I'm absolutely excited for tonight. Can I do one quick shameless plug before we go on?
Go ahead.
I posted in the Soul Citizen Discord under the movies and teaser trailers. We have such a amazing, our cup runneth over with so much good sci-fi right now that there's a gem that I think might be slipping past people. It's on Showtime. It's called The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Yeah, I saw that trailer because you posted it.
Yeah, it stars Chiwetel Ejiofor and an amazing all-star cast doing really good sci-fi. The first two episodes, the link is in the Discord for Soul Citizens. The first two episodes are literally on YouTube to watch for free, so anyone can enjoy them. Go and check it out. You owe it to yourself.
It seems like a lot of people are doing that because Paramount Plus did that for Paramount did that for the first episode of Star Trek:
Strange New Worlds. Yeah, and that was also phenomenal. And this week's episode that literally just came out today was amazing. Yes, absolutely, Griff. This is the remake of the David Bowie version of it, but.
You see, I was confused. I wasn't sure with David Bowie. Well, I forgot it was done by David Bowie. I was thinking about the one called Starman. That's what I was
Starman with Bridges. Yeah, that was great too. Great too. That was also great.
TV show also with Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking about. So, but no, this is closer to the David Bowie what.
Yeah, I mean it's a remake of the 70s Bowie thing, and it is I can't, it's just so good. It's so good. Everybody has to go see it. But all right, I'm done gushing with that. I know we got a lot to get to tonight. How was your week, brother?
Yeah, I bought and installed a new version of Vegas Pro, but it comes with a new software. Soundcloud, and I was going to use that to make my show for the people's radio for tomorrow. But as soon as I booted it up and it had a tutorial thing, I was like, nope, I'm not going to have time to do that this time. I'm gonna go back and try to get myself familiarized with it next time. Because the one thing I use Audacity. Yeah. But the one thing I missed is the drag and drop for the audio clips.
Oh hell yeah! I
does that.
Yeah, that should be a good time. That should be a real good time. Just for anybody who's interested, I'm popping a link in the chat right now. You can join Fast Cart tomorrow. Oops, maybe I don't have the permission to do that. My bad.
Yeah.
You can join Fast Cart tomorrow at 5:00 with his DJ tour with People's Radio, and yeah. Hell yeah!
Yeah, that's Flights with them on the People's Radio. I'll put the link in if Kuchinagi does beat me to it in a bit.
Beautiful.
So I like I said, do have a lot of stuff to go through, but I'm gonna do my thing and then drag people down so people can
Yes, sir.
so we can get started. So you ready for me to do my thing?
Let's do it. Let's see if I can guess it.
Once upon a time, there was a ship, and the ship had a variant. The two were connected, tethered together. The ship was fueled, and her fuel was clean and plentiful. But when the variant was filled, it was dirty and watery. The ship had a pilot, a handsome UE officer, but the variant at the same time had a non-citizen pilot. It didn't matter if the variant was maintained or not. He was tethered to the ship pilot after all. You see, the variant hated the ship so much, for so long, until one day the variant realized she was being tested by her manufacturer.
Hmm.
Clue? I'm
Sure.
gonna start dragging people down. Go ahead.
No, I'm No, I don't have it. What do you guys think?
I got nothing.
I have no clue. Again.
One day, but not today.
I'm going to say the last line again. Maybe the doctor remember. You see, the variant hated the ship so much for so long that one day the variant realized that she was being tested by her manufacturer.
Is it Blade Runner?
Nope.
Hmm.
Oh, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but it's us. This is the monologue that Red gives to the other person. Us.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, I remember the line now. Okay. All right.
So, in us, the line is she was being tested by God. And I changed it to she was being tested by the manufacturer, which is God for the ship.
Fair enough. Good deal. Good stuff.
I thought we said we weren't going to rehash this Jordan Peele stuff.
No, I did it because I thought Griffin was going to be here, so I got to mess with him when he comes back to tell him his privileges.
Fair enough. Fair enough on that one.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot to go. Let's get it running.
Yeah, so up first we have the sneak peek. I'm going to do the big one. So the sneak peek this week said, "Warning, emergency airlock sequence engage." And I guess everyone knows what that is.
What?
The MULE.
That's the bank. No, that's the bank vault. No.
Right.
Good one, guy. I think what we're looking at there is maybe something to do with a ship that we might be talking about tonight. A little Legionnaire. A little fun with Legos. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
the funny thing is, I don't think that title this time is a song or lyric or anything. I didn't have time to check it out before we went live, but yeah, I don't think that's a song this time. So they just went for a straight quote.
Yeah, I think this is just definitely, like I said, highlighting the stuff that's going to be coming up with the Legionnaire and the sort of forcible boarding, whether you're talking about cops retaking something or pirates stealing something or an army military vehicle securing a position. Yeah.
Anybody else have any thoughts about it?
I mean, it's probably the Legionnaire, but I'm sure we can get to it in a second.
It says Drake. Wait a minute. How can it be Legionnaire?
It says Drake?
Yeah.
Legionnaire.
It says Drake right on the
thing.
All right. You're right.
Boarding the car.
So okay, if it's not that, then
it's not the mule.
I didn't notice Drake. So okay, so in that case, I'm thinking it's going to be either the something with the vulture or something with what is that the little mini character, the little explorer, the Corsair. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking
well, if it's the Corsair and they're showing this, then I would expect it to be out. I would expect it to be flyable.
I mean, it looks like.
Because I think if they're going to show it like this, it's going to be ready to fly.
It's got the same time work on it as a Scorpion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. It doesn't look like concept art. It definitely looks finished.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Teasing,
All right.
tantalizing.
The Kraken confirmed.
I think it's the Vulture, actually.
Could be a vulture.
Yeah,
could be.
I think it's the Vulture because the Vulture is actually sitting in game
Oh
at the FinCon.
yeah. You're right, Vulture. Okay,
That's true.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So up next we
Could be
have.
either.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it just could
What
be
you guys-
either. That's it.
Oh, could be either. Okay. Up next we have Star Citizen Alpha 317.1 is live. You got the patch notes. So I want to thank Karate because Karate was unballed this whole. Well, he's been in the ball for a while now, but he's normally the first one to post these things. I'm like, oh, that's already been posted fast card. Oh, and then I look up and say Karate posted it. I say, darn it, okay. So yeah, this is has anyone tried 217.1 on live servers yet?
Not on
Yeah, I
live
jumped
yet.
in.
Yeah.
Not live.
yet.
No, it's not live yet.
Finishing the
Okay.
update.
Oh, it's still doing the maintenance. Okay.
No, it's live. I haven't
No,
done
it's-
it on live yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
same.
Yeah. It's up as of just a couple hours ago, and people are. I think people were. There's a lot of stuff that was coming out that people were looking like researching and getting ready for the show tonight.
Yeah, I was thinking that it was live, but I've been, trying
It
to get the
is.
show together all day, so I haven't been able to participate yet.
Yep.
Oh, so they did reset the offer you issue because I see it's 20,000 now.
Did they?
Database
That's
reset.
it.
That's awesome.
Just the default.
So they're not going to wipe people's billion. I heard there's like a guy with like 1 billion credits.
Mm. So what do people think about the known issues?
I have this morbid curiosity as to some of these to me are actual. I've dealt with them. Some of them are showstoppers if you're playing and deal with them, and some of them have literally been on the known issues list for multiple patches. So I look at these and I go, okay, what is blocking these? Are they rare enough to not be considered critical? Is like, are we in a tech debt situation where they can't get it fixed? Like, what's going on? 'Cause some of these have been there for a while. Like the turrets shooting at us for bunker missions has been there for a long time. I don't understand why that's not fixed. Ships can explode after players exit them. I don't know. That's like what, forever? Right? That's
Well,
that's
you have to realize sometimes it's so cool to walk away from an explosion, you know?
You got the Arnold Schwarzenegger moment of just like walking away while it blows up in the
Arnold
background. Or Tom
Schwarzenegger,
Cruise, Tom Cruise
Rambo.
too. Yeah, Rambo. So I think that I think that Rain's comment is entirely valid, and I absolutely see where she's coming from with regard to that. When I look at the list of and it's a large list, I believe Gomab posted it in the chat earlier. The large list of bugs that were fixed, the things that were addressed. I obviously I think, at any given moment you have to balance what you can do, what you have time for, and you have to prioritize, and you have to go through a list of things. And I very much agree with Rain that like some of the things that are existing issues, it's like, man, I really want to see them get to this or get to that. But when I look at all of the things that they did do, I have to think to myself that probably just right now, today, when they're releasing this patch, the priorities, the focus, the goal is number one, to get everything necessary for Invictus in. And number two, to try to streamline, optimize, sort of secure, or what's the term where you make it more stabilize. There you go. Stabilize as much as possible that pertains to both number one, Invictus, and number two, the free fly. So I think, when you look at the long list of the things that they accomplished, I would have to. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go through the new features since we're talking about it. So they have new features.
Since we're going down, can someone explain the database reset? Because you're saying that is that just wiping everyone's ammunition? Is that bullets, armor? Like what is that?
Yes, I believe. I was shocked when Fastcard said that the money thing was changed because my understanding of it was from looking at the notes was your money was supposed to be untouched. What was supposed to be lost was you would have to reset your starting location again, and you would have to like you would lose like small things like your bullets and your.
So I'm just going by what it says. It says database reset, yes. Long-term persistence enabled. 30 you receive 20,000.
Yeah, and
that's what I was going by.
Yeah, that's literally every patch.
You don't lose your money. I'm looking at my
lose your
mobile glass right now, and I still have the same amount of money as I did earlier today.
Yeah. Right. So
I
you don't lose your
have
money. Confirmed.
I just logged in and have 620,497 alpha UEC. My inventory has all my items in it. The database reset is primarily just your character creation, your starting location, that sort of stuff. But long-term persistence,
consumables.
Yeah, consumables is gone too. And if you didn't do your your refinery jobs are gone. They would have been lost if you didn't get them. But other than that, your long-term persistence, so your money, your reputation, and all of your items that aren't consumables are all still present. And all your ships. If you like bought a ship with Alpha UEC, it's still there as well.
That's a great thing to confirm. All right, so Fastcart, you said you wanted to go through the feature updates?
Yeah, the new feature. So they got locations, window interior, map shader. They added new graphic shader for buildings and PU. Ship vehicles added the new ship RSI Scorpius. I think we have that as a. No, we don't really have that. But yeah, what do we think about the Scorpius?
It's looks nice. Flies pretty good. It's strong, but like I'm sure GoMab and everybody else thinks that, but about nerfing it sometime down in the future. But hopefully not soon.
They actually said that they'll, they're going to leave it as it is now.
They listened, which I am happy with. They listened to the people, right? People flew it and they said, CIG, keep your hands off of this. It flies as it should. Listen to your community. We know we fly these ships every day. We fly them all the time, and we put them through their paces. This ship flies as it should. It does not need to be tuned in any way. If you tune it, you run the risk of making it not special, and it is not overpowered as it is. And they listened, and I appreciate CIG for that.
Yeah, so to gave GoMap credit for that because Jake heard it.
Yep. So to Jade's point, they had indicated previously when they first introduced the Scorpius to the to the PTU, they had said, "Oh yeah, no, it definitely is way more maneuverable than we want it to be. We're going to tune it down." And then, as Jade indicated, they just released the other day a separate notice saying, "Actually, after looking at the feedback from the community, we're going to just leave it as is for now," which is great.
Cool. They listen. Cool. So
it's good that companies can do that.
Also, we have location, lightning polish for Hurston, volumetric cloud. How are the clouds acting up for anybody? Is anyone getting frame delay?
So I've been in Star Citizen and in Hurston all week for the most part in the Hurston area, and honestly, on my rig, the clouds and all of that, it was running fine. I was having more stability issues. I think after 317 wasn't bad on stability, unless you measured it against 315 and 316, which were so stable that people were like spoiled. But 317.1, the list of fixes that are specifically aimed at stability is very, very impressive. So I have my fingers crossed and high hopes for that as I hop into it later tonight.
Agreed, because 317 was a lot of crashes for me.
Yeah. But I mean, when you say it's a lot of crashes, like if it's not it wasn't a lot of crashes compared to like 313, 314. It's just coming off of 315 and 316, we're so spoiled. You know what I mean? Like it's been so good, right?
Yeah, but a regression is a regression, right? And it has
You're right,
to be.
you're right.
You have to be, be accounted for. But no,
Wait till that-
it's.
Wait till that 318 regression.
Oh man, that's gonna be.
We'll get to
that's
that.
That's gonna be hurty. But look, we'll live through it, right? Hopefully, all of the regression will be taken care of during the PTU, during the extended PTU, and I'm sure we'll talk about that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to talk about the environmental cloud, talk about the RSI Scorpio. This is they got gameplay ship paint update. Paint cannot be stored in personal ship and inventories. Update to the intro bounding mission ship AI. Increase shield health for size 2 shield. Ooh, that's gonna come in handy. Added the ability for player to purchase shop items directly into ship that have enough storage volume. I think Griffin's gonna love that. And a whole bunch of people will. Shipping vehicles added new refueling console to the rear catwalk platform in the Starfare. Update the min-max wait time for insurance expedite fees for the Drake Cutlass Steel, everybody's favorite ship, and consolidated Outland Hover Quad and Missile A. Made further improvement to the streaming model, that's its core tech, performance pilot pass on large planetary storms, updated game on glass binding for 317.1, and a whole bunch of bug fixes. I don't think we have enough time to go through all of these. But just for to draw things up, talk about the technical, fix 12 client crashes, fix new 9 server crashes, and fix multiple backend server crashes. So did anyone have a chance to go through the bug fixes?
Yes.
And anything stick out?
Yes.
What?
The underground facilities, the turrets, fixing the turrets on the top of the bunkers, being shooting you not being able to see them shoot, and you're just stealthily taking damage. Now you actually they said they fixed that, so that's a really good thing.
To me, the biggest and most impressive thing on this bug fix isn't any one particular item. It's just the sheer mass, the totality of how many things they got to is really, really impressive. And from the previous list that you were reading out, the one thing I want to call out and highlight is putting that terminal on the back for refueling. It was very, very difficult they were getting a lot of feedback that it was difficult to tell like depth and distance sometimes doing it from the front. So it's I think that was a very, very positive step for people that are engaging in that game loop. So that's like a big thing to sort of call out. I don't want to like run past it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, any
They
other
fixed that invisible tree on the river.
Yeah, the
What was that?
invisible trees.
Oh,
So yeah, flying close down to the river, you would sometimes just explode with the invisible trees. And I know that the racing group with Black Maze and those guys, they were, because they've got a river race that's coming up, and they were having a lot of issues with that. So they'll be very, very happy to see that those stealth technology trees have been addressed.
It's not a stealth technology tree. It's a tree monster. It's a boss. It's a final boss for Star Citizen. That's the new feature that people hadn't heard about.
Nice.
Elden Ring.
It's a raid boss, obviously. So yeah, I think that's quite enough for the past note, because we have a lot of show to get through. So I'm going to close that out for now. What?
Real quick, want to welcome Griff. You're here. I can turn the reins over to you, brother. What are your thoughts on the stuff we talked about so far?
You can't do that because I'm eating chicken nuggets.
Oh, my bad.
I was wondering why he's not on camera.
Chicken nuggies. Chicken nuggies.
That's hilarious.
What's that, the White Castle? It's gotta be White Castle, right?
Does White Castle make chicken nuggets?
Homemade.
Yeah.
Oh, homemade. Okay.
There we go.
Ain't no shame in that, Griff.
Homemade chicken nuggets is then you
Olive
pull
bar.
them out of a bag and throw them in the microwave, or
Yes.
okay.
Right, honey mustard or ranch
Honey
or
mustard.
barbecue.
Honey mustard, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
No, Chick-fil-A
Alright, so
sauce. You gotta
Yes,
get
go, man.
different
There you
here.
go.
Go, man. That's exactly what I'm eating.
Raisin cane sauce.
Since Griffin is here, he put this in for us to talk about briefly. It's time for the actual dance emote. So he put this in for the spectrum for people to upvote. It got 69 upvotes so far. Hopefully, Kusanagi can put this in the YouTube chat.
I'm searching for it. I just saw that the comma rays of S10 turrets. It kind of threw me off here. Hold on, let me find this out.
So here's the deal. It has 69 upvotes. What we now need to do is get it to 420 upvotes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Is there some reason why you picked 420?
Just because it seems like a good round number. I don't know.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, people unfamiliar with it. This is the emote we're trying to get. We're definitely trying to replace the funky chicken. Is that that's the one we're trying to get replaced?
Well, but maybe something better than the funky
Add
chicken.
to it. Not replaced, add to.
Anything's better than that
okay.
funky chicken. Anything's better than that.
Star Citizen isn't about removing features; they're about adding features.
Right.
Exactly. Why remove dances? We don't have enough as it is. Add more.
That's true.
Well,
All right. My mistake.
And I literally took crap on, yo, why did you pick 420 from the guy who's got the munchies right now? All right.
Eating chicken nuggets for of all things. All right. So up next we have Invictus Launch Week 2952. So yeah, Invictus is back and it's starting tomorrow, along with the free flag starting tomorrow. It's a good thing we got the new patch out tonight. So yeah, it's Invictus Launch Week. They got the new ship up on the in front boat and center. So we're not gonna go through all the days specifically with all the ships.
That's not the new ship. That's
Yeah, the
Valkyrie.
Legionnaire. You're showing it. Oh wait, that is a Valkyrie. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Hey, it's Annabelle, sorry. But yeah, so they got the different days and different ships that are going to be available on each day. Each manufacturer has 2 days, except for the last 2 days where all the manufacturers come together. Hey, Griffin, I got to change the name after I'm done with this thing.
You can leave it. You can leave this guy's in.
Hope you had a nice meal. So yeah, May 24th, 25th is RSI, Origin, Consolidated, and Argo. 26, 27, Crusader, Tumble, Musashi, Miss basically. 28, 29 is Great. And then, like I said, the last 2 days is all of them coming back together. So we had some information coming up. Oh, they have a fact too. But how much money do you think CIG will make this Invictus? Because for reference, back in 2020, total Invictus they made 13 million, and during 2021, during Invictus they made 12.1 million. So they made a little less last year than previous year. Do people think they'll do less or more?
I think they're gonna make anywhere between $1 and a lot of money.
I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. Record breaking. This is going to be a massive money coming in this week.
15 million.
You think so? What's going to drive it? The anvil, the mule, or just all of it?
So number one, they're just record setting already for the year. If you look at the number of new players coming in there's big streamers that are picking up the game. There's elite refugees. There's all of this influx of new players. Then you've got a new sort of a very sexy new game loop ship with the Legionnaire with so boarding and all that stuff. And it's priced at $100. Are you kidding me? With the paint job, that's priced just low enough that a lot of people that otherwise would have given it the pass of I'll get it later are going to pick it up. You've got the Drake Mule, which is number one going to be the LTI token this year, and number two is with 3.18 and the physicalized cargo loading, people are going to get multiples of that. So they're going to have however many tokens they want to get, but they're also going to get one. Unlike a lot of times where, it's the hover bike or whatever, and people are like, yeah, I'm getting it for whatever. I think people are going to want to have it for the token, but they're going to also want to have one to keep for forever. And just all of the monies this year. I'm calling it big.
I'm going for less money than last year.
Wow.
Why?
Number one, this is the one of the first ships that I have no interest in, because like boarding is so specific. It's not like I can use it for security. It's not like I can, it's just like it's so far outside of what an industrial group of organizations are going to be doing. That I just, and there's no reason to spend $100. I think they'd be better off if it was like $250, because it would actually be worth something. The Mule, I think, is a great little ship. I mean, it's enclosed and stuff like that. We can talk about that in a bit. But and also, I'm not sure if people are talking about inflation. Most of us are gamers, and I think we have a little bit more. Some people have a little bit more expendable income than others. But I think when a gallon of milk is up like 25% over the previous year, or at least 2020, people might not want to buy a Javelin if they can get it. I'm not sure. I don't know. I know. So 2020 it was 13 million, and then the year later it was 12.1. So it was already down $900,000 year over year.
Yeah, but this year they're breaking all the records. So
they have had a lot of people, like Kai said. There's a lot of people, that getting back into it. I just don't know if they have to come up with another ship that has a bigger price tag on it for me.
My problem here is time and time again there have been like sort of, when we ask people like what they think, people are like, oh well, this ship that came out isn't for me, so therefore it's not going to sell well at all. Well, yeah, it's not for you.
I'm writing this one down. 11.75.
But it's gonna, just because it's not for you doesn't mean it's not gonna sell.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm always trying to keep it real, as everybody knows with me. Just because it's not for you doesn't mean it's not gonna sell.
I'm not saying it's not going to sell. It's just I don't think it's going to sell as like the Prospector would, or like a new fighter, something like that.
I mean, we don't really know how big the pirate community is in Star Citizen yet.
I don't think it's going to be a pirate ship.
No, but I see a big appeal for pirates for that ship.
Yeah.
ISC literally said it was for both sides of the law, pirate and everything. So
correct, yeah.
Yeah.
2 cents on it. I think it's a little bit of both of what you all said. I think the other thing is that it sounds like we're maybe basing too much on what we've seen so far. I think there's more coming. You all were talking earlier about the possibility of the Corsair, the possibility of the Vulture. And as you guys know, if those things pop up on the showroom floor, people are not going to be able to contain themselves. Even
people are going to lose their mind.
They could have bought them. They could have bought them anytime before that. Not to mention that there still could be even something else. But we know Drake Day is the last day, so something's going to come out that day. So, and the Corsair and the Vulture both line up for that. Admiral, I know we had this whole situation with the specialty ships and whether people will go for them. But I think that Kai said this earlier. The difficulty on this one is the price point. There may be people who would actually be more willing to spend it because it's $100. They also they see it as an alternative to the Steel, and they may see it as an alternative to the Valkyrie. As far as being able to carry multiple crew people. That $100 thing freaked me out when I saw that, because this is the second time CIG has come in at a price point lower than we probably predicted. So I'm curious to see how it sells, to be honest with you. I agree. The other thing is something that Chris said in his newsletter. I'll let somebody else talk. He talked about how many people are signing up for the game now.
Yeah.
And so it's not going to be old money. Some of the old money people, you guys know, last time at IAE, they were CCUing and melting like crazy and using credit, but you still got fresh money that's flowing in from new players. And they may be the ones who are willing to spend that $100 versus us old heads who spent $500 for a ship. They may be willing to drop that fresh cash. And again, look at what happened during the pandemic. We didn't think things would happen the way they did then, but they made ridiculous money when people were unemployed with an uncertain future. I'm not sure that inflation is going to be enough to scare off some of these gamers, because they want what they want and they want it now. And especially with Chris's letter with 4.0, the imminency of server meshing, a whole lot of other things coming up. If they don't hit it now, IAE may be when they will hit it. So last year I predicted that was going to be the leveling off year, and I was proven wrong. This year,
me too.
I don't even want to try to predict, to be honest with you, man, because the numbers Chris and them said they've exceeded their projected numbers on new members and paying members. And if that trend continues, not to mention, I'll throw one last hook in that some of you may agree with and may not agree with. Starfield got pushed off till next year.
Yeah.
There's no new space game coming now. This is the only thing that's on the radar right now is Star Citizen. And there may be people who will gravitate to it just because these big YouTubers with 1 million viewers are out here now talking about how great this game is.
I will add that so far today they have sold $326,000 worth of the ship.
That's crazy. The day before on $100 ship. That's crazy.
So Concierge just pulling that one through. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's right there at the I might screw it, why not? Right at that $100 mark.
I can always melt it and upgrade.
Yeah, I can.
Right?
Because mind you, there's a couple things we know for certain. It's going to go up in price, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, if you can get it right now in concept on Warbond, it's a and if you ever plan on buying another ship in this game, why not? Right? It's not like it's not like it's like do I go buy this Perseus for $675? Right? It's $100, and yes, that's a lot of money to a lot of people. But let's be real. This is Star Citizen, man. Most we judge. You know what I'm saying? We gauge ourselves by the thousands of the dollars that we spend.
We need $100 bills for breakfast, right?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to jump in here real quick and say this. I've learned that gamers do not live by logic. We live by desires, emotions. Ooh, gimme. That's what we live by.
Pretty.
Shiny. That's it.
Yeah,
Can you say that slower for me? No, I'm kidding.
Gaming is an escape, right? So to what Griff said and what Fitz just said is that gaming is irrational, right? So people are trying to escape, the inflation. They were trying to escape the COVID stuff in 2020. So where are they going to put their money? If maybe they don't go to that concert or that sporting event or whatever, but
it's cheaper than a night at the strip club.
Exactly. Yep. So
I think
exactly.
Thanks, Bob.
Wow.
I honestly think the key to this entire thing is something that Griff pointed out, where he said, we haven't even seen the whole thing yet. So the real big question is going around for everybody, how many ships, how many new things do you think are going to be up for sale this week? Because I mean, for sure,
they said a lot.
Vulture for sure, because Vulture was on the floor. We already know it's coming.
So undisclosed. This is the one thing. They said a lot of undisclosed ships, and that's not like people know about the stuff like that. No,
so
they said
I think they said 3 or 4.
They didn't say a number. What's his name? Disco Lando said like a few, like a bunch or something like that. I'll have to look for it.
So the point that I'm making is I think when you factor in all of the new money to the community, the new players to the community, which are potentially untapped as of yet market, and then X number of undefined new ships, I think that's what's going to end up determining the final dollar amount. So the real big question is, how many new things do you think are coming? Not yes, Vulture we knew about, but okay, so you got Vulture, even though it's not new, the X-Wing is going to sell like hotcakes. So that Lego at that price point is going to sell like hotcakes. The Mule is going to sell, everybody's going to be getting a minimum of 3 for a couple tokens and 1.5
tokens. Yeah.
So how many ships do you guys think?
Look on the roadmap and see. Look at how many unannounced ships are on the roadmap.
There's 11 right now.
Yeah, and if they make that Pisces that's rumored,
there's one in there. It's
all
big.
over. I'm buying a couple of them.
There's a huge ship on there because there's a lot of different teams that are working on it. I don't know what it is.
So I'm going to cut this off now because we do have quite a bit more show to go to, and especially I think there's going to be one big topic that's going to take most of the time. So I just want to cover the one last thing is that the quantity of stock limited ship. They have the wave 1, 2, and 3. They're all 8 hours apart, and it's going to be on Aegis Day, RSI Day, and Drake Day. So be aware of that if you're looking for stock limited ships. Okay. So up next we have the Drake Mule. So I'm gonna try to stick this to maybe 5 minutes. So what do people think about the Drake Mule?
It's the most adorable thing ever.
It's cute.
I was looking forward to
It's so
a 400i, and I feel
Tonka
very
truck.
dragged it in.
Tonka truck, Fisher Price.
Yeah, and it'll be curious to see if CIG is able, if and when they're able to get the mechanic in. Hopefully for the cargo refactor, it'll be working. But it's a cool idea. Can be thrown into the back of your vehicle, could be used in your hangar. I'm curious to see how people handle it. That versus the tractor beam and what the benefits are. I'm sure there's going to be pros and cons for either. So
if you go back to the first picture there, you can actually turn that thing around, do a 360 in that landing bay. We just saw it because the wheels are like it just has that capability.
It's a zero turn. It's a
Yeah.
space forklift.
Yeah,
I'm slightly disappointed by it. Only because I was excited about the prospect of having a vehicle that to replace the Ursa Rover, kind of like with like a pickup flatbed that I could just toss bodies onto it.
Bring out your dead. Yeah, bring out your dead. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
but other than that, I think this is going to be another one of those ubiquitous utility vehicles that you're going to have access to one to load up cargo at like these outposts and stuff, right? Unless you want to do it by hand. So,
someone please mention how many SUs it takes again.
2.
So it's got 3.
Well, 3
It's
in the
got
front.
it's got. So here's the deal. It's got one in the back that goes underneath the hull. It's got the forklift arms on the front that holds one, and it has whatever is it, like 6 boxes or 8? I'm sorry, whatever. It's got the little it's got the little boxes, 8 boxes on the side that each hold 1/8. So if you take all 3, if you fully load that sucker, you got 3 SCU.
So does this thing land on boxes for the back end, or how's
back into them?
I guarantee you, it's gonna have the reverse camera, like when you all cars after 2015 have it, where it beep beep beep, it backs up. You're gonna back up over it, and it's gonna then like magnetize or whatever, and grip it up, and then you're gonna with the forearm, you've got the other one, and then you, like I said, you've got the option. So when you're doing actual heavy loading in a cargo hangar, you're just going to do the 2, because to get out and to grab a bunch of little boxes and load them on the side, that's taking more time. Whatever. So you're going to use 2.
The only thing I want to say something is I've driven forklifts, and usually forklift drivers go backwards once they pick up something, and I don't see. Kai does mention maybe they'll have a camera, which would absolutely be needed.
Yeah.
But
forklift
drivers go backwards.
If they do
pick it up
that,
in the
though,
front, and you drive backwards.
Now, if they do that with the camera, then that means they could do that with the freelancer, with the side guns that they showed off in the video.
Oh God! You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
every ship in the verse with a landing camera.
Yeah, that subject has come up about cameras, particularly when it came to docking, like with the bigger ships going in. So, and CIG has talked about that. They do have kind of like a camera remote thing that they do, but we'll see. There's a lot about this vehicle. I want to toss in the fact that did you guys notice that this is the first one with a fuel port?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yes, it did.
That's the other thing to start thinking about. We're so used to these vehicles riding forever, but
no, they don't ride forever.
Well, they don't in general. No, but most of the time, very few people ride them to the point where they run out. But my point is, they've got a fuel port on this one, which, and with the refueling being in, I'm wondering how close we are to them starting to limit, and also some type of ground vehicle that will be able to refuel vehicles and stuff, which might be another thing.
I just think it's kind of cool because this was actually in the vote, where the Spartan won. Like this was actually just above the Spartan in that competition, and to the right, of course, was what ended up being a hover quad, and I think on the left was ended up being an exploration ship, which ended up being the Odyssey. So for them to say, "Hey, this is you pick one of these things," and it's like practically they were, it was already on the drawing board. It's pretty cool. You have to look at those and say like, "Hey, that means they have all these pretty much at least sketched out and to some degree." This is the interior for them to have an enclosed interior like the Rock doesn't is phenomenal about this vehicle because if you look behind the pilot's head, it has like AC and a heater unit. It has a fan back there, so it has AC. It has heat, so you can be in these dangerous environments like aerial or someplace in pyro, and you don't have to worry about overheating and stuff. So it's fantastic.
Okay, so we're a bit over time. I said it 5 minutes, but I want to give a rapid fire answer for this one. How much would a Drake Mule cost? Try to go in order without me saying the name. So Kusanagi, how much you think?
I'll say 35.
Yeah.
DK.
40.
Fist.
20.
Go man.
$26.99.
Oh, Griffin, go ahead.
25.
Jade.
30.
35 as well.
Kyle.
35 for me.
How much?
35.
35. Okay. Io Spartan.
25.
Pops.
25.
Rain.
35.
I'm gonna say 40 raw bond. So yep. All right, cool. So yes, that is the Anvil. I'm sorry, the Drake Mule. Darn, I'm getting all my super stuff to shake. We're gonna be a busy week. So up next, we do have the Anvil Legionnaire. That's what took me up. So yeah, this came out. Was it today or yesterday? I've been up for 24 hours. Yesterday, thank you. So yes, this is the Anvil Legionnaire. It's the dropship that people have been talking about for the past for a bit now. Is anyone getting this? Not in an LTI token.
Already $100, lots of people.
Okay.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of if anybody's played Elite Dangerous, the Chieftains in Elite Dangerous. That's
Chieftain,
exactly
the Challenger.
what it reminds me. Yep.
And the Crusader, the three in that
totally
line.
looks like it. That's when I first saw it. I'm like, wait.
And in fairness, before anybody gets salty and say, "Oh, you stole that look from Elite Dangerous," Elite Dangerous stole that look from the movie Aliens. Everybody's stolen that look. It's a great look. It's a fantastic look.
It sure is.
Oh yeah, it is that thing. Okay, yeah. And I haven't really gave it a good look because it's not something I'm interested in. But yeah, I can see that now.
It's sexy as hell. It just skipped leg day, unfortunately. If you look, it's super top heavy, and then that back with them little chicken wing legs.
It's got some terrapin in it too.
Yeah, I see that. I see the terrapin definitely.
Yeah, it's like a Valkyrie and a Terrapin sort of had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Refraction.
How does that work though? No, never mind.
I knew you were about to ask.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's introducing another level of gameplay. I was having some discussions with some people who would test about it when it came out, and I told them that breaching and boarding ships, a lot of times people have always thought about EVAing. I said, but no, that's not the way you really want to do it. I was kind of curious because when I saw the concept images, I saw there was something underneath the ship, which I thought, some of you remember, you've seen this on other shows before where you'll land on top of a ship, clamp down on it, and come from the bottom. This was unique because it actually comes from the front, which I didn't expect. So I'm really curious to see. I think the ship is going to sell better than people think. It is very specialized. But again, a Valkyrie is $285 right now, if I'm not mistaken. And you have to go out in atmosphere to use it. The Cutlass used to be a ship that was considered to be able to breach and use, but they've moved it obviously to this. So those people who are into pirating and stuff, better watch out. These people might dock next to your Carrack or whatever other ship you have, or your 890. And if you're not paying attention, it may not be Pico at the door. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see how this thing sells.
So Griff, I don't know if you had a chance. I know you were visiting with family. I don't know if you had a chance to see the whole ISC earlier
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
But that's literally, that was the one guy, he mentioned it. He said, like, there were lots of neat concepts where we were gonna maybe from the bottom or this way or that way or do things, but they went with that extended nose breacher thing
Mhm.
as a universal so that it will fit with every ship in the verse.
Yep. In fact, Reclaimer, there's a lot of ships that have that side entrance, Andromeda's, everything. You know.
By the
so-
way, as my fellow veterans in the channel will probably attest, the concept art, this one right here, that they showed with the guys stacked up in the tunnel and the dudes back there at the back with the grenade. That one, this one, that is asking to get everybody freaking killed.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Yep. I agree.
It's gonna bounce off that door frame and come right back.
Yeah, it's gonna bounce off. I mean, not to mention you're shooting over your you got no muzzle control. Like I looked at this and I was like, this is not this is marketed towards civilians.
I actually had a friend who I classify as a friend, but if he was such a bad shot that I would have gladly taken his ammunition. Say that. It's like, you go first, and I'll grab that ammunition afterwards. Thank you very much.
You know who I think is really going to be loving this ship? I mean, yes, they're marketing it with a piracy twist, but I mean, folks like me that I live for the day where I can set my Carrack or any big ship, Odyssey, whatever, as a jump point in null space, and be able to fly away from it or fly to it, or have my party members be able to fly to me and dock with me and come on board my ship. So I think this will be a great shuttle to take people from space stations to larger ships, right? This is how you.
It's cool.
Get
Small,
on there.
nimble. Yeah,
It's cool.
small, nimble.
To Argo, yeah.
And let's also
it's quantum capable. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to be like, you could be literally in null space in the middle of nowhere.
Damn it, Go Mab! I hated this ship like freaking 20 minutes ago.
Let me pile on here, Kusanagi. Everybody's looking at this from the standpoint of saying, like, oh, well, this is a pirate ship. This is a pirate ship. Let's not lose sight of the fact that one of the most interesting, fun, beloved missions out there is the 890 jump, hostage rescue, whatever.
Wait.
So what about when we get to the point? What about when we get to the point?
Hunters,
What about when we get to the point where in verse you can take that mission and you actually fly out to the 890 jump, and then
Dock
you
in.
and your friends go out there and do your thing and get paid triple.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that does concern me about this ship, they have two seats, right? Two seats up front, and they have two remote turrets. Now, either that front remote turret needs to be slave to the pilot, and the second one the back one will be slave to the co-pilot seat. Or I just hope they don't do like they did the Hercules, where the co-pilot will have to choose which turret he's able to fire.
They are also, real quick, this one, they have also mentioned that they're like investigating and exploring automated turrets as well a few times. So maybe, I don't know, maybe one of those turrets is just automated.
Yeah, it's just two remote turrets. It's like no pilot. It's kind of like the Retaliator, because it's like the Retaliator.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's yet to be seen. We'll see how they handle the point defenses and things like that on the ship. If I want to really theory craft and really hope, they said it has specific capabilities to defeat security measures. I hope one of those security measures is detection. Right, I want to be able to slip in past those Cuddy Blacks on the 890 jump mission, dock, board, handle the business before those guys even know. Jump into the turrets of the 890 jump and take those Cuddy Blacks out.
Nice.
That's what I would like to do.
I was not interested in this ship, and then Go Mab had to start, and now
there's a lot of stuff to think about. It really
now
is.
I want one.
Just buy the ship.
It doesn't hurt to get one.
Just
now.
buy the ship for the mini game.
I want one. I just said I was going to willing to work for it in game, but I definitely want one.
So
Yeah, I
it
still
says
don't
it
want
says
but $100 LTI token is not a bad deal.
So it says hacking. The
Alright.
Legionnaires' integrated infiltration systems empower operators to stealthily disable security measures on target vessels, leaving them vulnerable to docking, boarding, and seizure. So all
They
my
gotta be able to
capital
get there without
ships will just be piloted by people having seizures, so they just be so wonky they can't latch onto it.
I'm just gonna have to start teaching people VBSS techniques.
All right, so up next we have the topic that everyone is looking forward to. This is the oops, I didn't scroll up far enough. The letter from the chairman. The year in review. Has everyone had a chance? I hope everyone had a chance to look this over.
All right, Griff's got ground rules for this one. You only get one thing to talk about because there's 12 of us in here, and there's no way we're going to get through the whole show tonight. And we move the show up an hour so we don't keep people up so late. So if there's something in particular you want to highlight it, and then we'll continue. We'll talk about it. Okay.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter.
Yeah.
We just got a letter. I wonder who it's from.
Look, I'll volunteer to go first because mine's gonna
Yeah.
be really quick.
Sure.
And it's something that I felt as soon as I read it. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you writing this letter. But damn it, have you learned nothing?
Oh, when you said
Stop putting out timelines and dates. The community cannot handle it. They are incapable of being able to handle it. I get it. Y'all tested something in a conference room and it worked great, right? How many times have you tested something and then when you went to scale it, it fell on its face and you had to rework it from the ground up?
Hot take.
Things happen.
I got a question though. They haven't really been giving dates. They've mentioned quarters, end of year. They really haven't been giving it, and they've been on point the last few. Tony Z stuff about when he was going to start introducing Quanta and everything. They were on point. They did it within the time frame. So maybe my question to you is: are they confident? In other words, one of the things that people said about this Go Mob, and maybe give me some feedback off of this. People said that the one thing that they liked about this letter is that Chris sounded like they were very confident about where they were. That they weren't no longer surmising. And if they are
confident, though.
No.
Like
They're
that.
usually very vague about stuff, what we're working on, what we would like to do. Now,
Okay.
this was
All
much
right.
more like, this is what we're going to do, and this is what's going to happen, you know. So do you think, Go Mob, that maybe there's a little bit more confidence? Even though I agree with you, but
better
them
be.
dates out there, they better follow up. You know,
look, I'm done. I'm not defending it. Look, you put it out there like that. You
better deliver, right?
Better
Okay.
deliver.
Fair
You ain't-
enough.
look, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Look, I
Nervous
come to your
breakdown.
defense. I come to your offense. You know what I'm saying? I
heard
can only
that.
come to your offense so much.
But
If
here's
you
the thing:
keep on doing this.
but to Griff's point, when they were making these estimations from a million miles out and it was super far away, that was when a lot of dates got blown. Lately, it's been
doing a
much
great job.
more. It's been because they're getting closer to the finish line, and as you get closer to the finish line with discrete tasks, that's when you can give much more reliable estimates.
It's not the first 99% that trips you up.
Yeah.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'll tell
here's
you a
the thing.
date I didn't like, that date about CitizenCon. That's what I'm mad about. They canceled that bad fella. Don't get me started.
That was
Go
my
ahead.
topic.
All right, I won't talk about it. Go ahead, go about.
You already did.
No, but that's it, man. Everything else was spot on. I would have liked for them to just lay out, what they're doing next, and to expect to see it. Say something like soon. Here's the thing: we hear what he's saying. What I'm saying is that the community you just gave the community another bat. Right. And the tensions just kind of came down. People just started putting their pitchforks and torches away a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Things are just starting to calm down. He's like, well, we can't have that.
Can I hop in with my one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm done.
All right.
That's good.
All right. So my thing is this. What I really appreciated about this letter, God damn it. What I really appreciated about this letter was the candor of some of the talking about some of the failings with the what is that they now call it entity graph and the layers and all this stuff.
iCache.
iCache, thank you. The fact, so the candor with which they discussed openly the problems and said, okay, we tried this, it failed. We moved to this, and here's how we're getting this stuff done. Is so that's the kind of thing that they don't admit to until they have a workaround, a fix, and they're confident with the fix. Number one, and number two, it has hit certain areas of the saltier people in the community so well that they've actually they're like, hey, this is real, this is different. I want to call out specifically, Salty Mike put out a fantastic video about this in which I honestly heard him be more hopeful and more open and like, this is what we wanted in a long time. So there's like 50 awesome things in that letter that you could call out, but since you said pick one, that's going to be my one. I was really pleased with that, and I agreed with Mike's assessment of like, hey, this is really good. It's open and honest, talking about failings and talking about where they're going forward, and this is not sort of as pie in the sky as maybe some people have felt they've seen before.
They better hit them targets.
I like where. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Jade.
Oh, I like where he starts by talking about how this feels, or well, a lot like 2017 before 3.0 came out. Because that was something I've been saying all along when people were like sort of fudding, server meshing and I said, this really just feels like 2017, but this is almost the opposite, because in 2017 we got lots of shows, but there was no content that we could play. But now, we're going to continue to have content while all this stuff is being developed, and that's the biggest difference. So, yeah,
that's good.
Wayne will go, and then I'll go, I guess.
I think for me the biggest thing is mentioning the thing that resonated with me the most is mentioning the work that went into getting this, and it probably wasn't in a conference room, but to getting the thing to work, where we're talking 16 months and 18 engineers, dedicated QA specs, and 4 producers across multiple studios. And I love that Chris is giving these kinds of dates, because as I've talked about many times on this show, being here, I've been there. The patch, I am the person who was building the build to put it on the Steam repo on Friday night, and it breaks. And I have to make a phone call because it just broke. And we've tested it for weeks. Why did it break? What's wrong? Okay, we got to wake up devs who've literally been working for 12 hours. Why did it break? We have a QA team that didn't catch it. Like, I've been there. The time and time again for the last 10 years, I have seen people so confidently exclaim that they understand how game dev works. They understand what's going on with CIG. And time again, they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. They've never been in a situation where you were just so certain and then it breaks, and then people are literally crying because they're terrified they're going to lose their jobs. And you're on the phone trying to calm down your lead technical artist because she's bawling her eyes out because the build broke and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And they've never been in these situations. And to see Chris push, look how long this took us. You guys have been complaining that we don't give dates, or we do give dates, or we tell you nothing, or we tell you everything, or we tell you something. And it's like, here it is. Over 20 people, a year and a half to get here, and it worked. And I really need people to understand that is phenomenal. I've had that feeling where somebody's been working on a thing and you're testing it and it fires off, and you're in a meeting with somebody on Skype and people are just screaming because, oh my God, it freaking worked. That is the thing that I really wanted people to focus on, is the hopefulness when Chris says, I know this doesn't seem like much to you, but it's the equivalent of one small step for man, one giant leap, right? And it's a massive, massive undertaking that's finally paid off. That's my little rant for the night.
Nice, cool.
Thank you.
FC, go ahead. I'll get mine after you.
So mine is CitizenCon. So yeah, there's not gonna be a physical CitizenCon this year. When I read this, it hit me like a ton of bricks. 6 hours later, I was okay. I went through all the phases of denial and then acceptance. So yeah, there's no CitizenCon this year. So yeah, that's a bummer. But I get why they're not going to be one. And I'd much rather people be safe than otherwise. Even though it's been it's been 4 years since I've got to see a bunch of people. I miss people dearly, but I'd rather people be safe than not safe. Put it that way. But instead of CitizenCon this year. Did that count as 2 if I bring up the Bar Citizen Tour? Because I'm trying to time it, man.
Yes, because that becomes 2. So let everybody else go through it, and you can pick that one up.
All right. So yeah, so no CitizenCon this year. All right.
Who else we got?
I'll go.
I didn't. Oh, okay.
I'll go ahead, Pops.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, Admiral first.
All right, I'll start causing problems now then. So my thing is relating to what is it here called? The testing and release cadence. And we've talked to a couple people here in chat before. I just have an issue with this 3.17.2 patch. I kind of feel like it's going to be December. We're going to have a 3.17.4 patch by then. Because they have a lot of stuff going on. They have it's the server mesh. What is this? Service mesh. Is that the one? What it's called? 18 is called.
3.18 is persistent entity streaming. Server meshing is 4.0.
Okay, so that one, and then you have I'm trying to pull this thing out, and then you have cargo refactor, and you have the hull stripping and all that stuff, all in one patch. So it seems kind of crazy. If they just released the patch and stayed in the quarters, and even if this patch 3.18 was just like bug fixes and quality of life stuff, I'd be okay with that. They automatically just said like, hey, we're pushing this whole thing, or the big stuff, 3 months, which pushes it straight into the 3.19 patch. And you go to the roadmap right now on RSI, and you look at the release view, and 75% of this is bad information because it talks about 3.18 and 3.19 and 3.20. So none of that exists anymore, and they updated this like 7 days ago. So yeah, that's my only thing. I don't mind them pushing stuff back if it's not ready. I just kind of want them to keep a quarterly release and not just hold on to 3.17 for some unknown reason.
It's not an unknown reason.
Were you around in 2017 when we had 2.6 for a whole year?
Yeah. Let's not remember that. I
know,
enjoy these quarterly patches.
That's what I'm saying. This is better than that.
Yeah. I like the quarterly patches. It just makes me feel like I'm moving forward. None of this point stuff. It feels like I'm waiting for a police officer to just give me my ticket. Can you just give me my ticket? Appreciate it.
While that's happening, one of the big things they did say is that 3.18 will be an extended PTU, right? So it's not like you won't be able to experience the new content. They're just going to be working through regression testing and working through some of the challenges in the PTU and Evocati and PTU. It's going to be an extended PTU while they just won't be pushing it to live, right? So you'll be able to experience the growth, right? It's just you just won't be able to experience that growth and live unless you're one of those people that just don't like going to PTU.
I don't do PTU anymore. And if you looked at the last PTU session when it started out, there was a reason, because people were just like having a rough time. When they said, hey, for those getting the PTU, this is a rough patch. Like Jake said, this is a rough patch. And people went in there with like, what's all this? There were so many complaints because people didn't understand what
they were
PTU.
spoiled. But that's because they were spoiled.
Exactly.
Because the last few PTUs have been so stable, they've forgotten what it was like to go in there and have problems. You get those days where you just literally have to say, I've tried 10 times and I can't. That's all that comes from. PTU is PTU. And when you go in there knowing that can happen. And and not you, but there are players who railed and went crazy because the last couple times PTU wasn't that bad. But like Jade said earlier, I remember days with stuff. I mean, we didn't have Evocati level bad, but we've had some bad PTUs in the past, and these jokers have just gotten spoiled by not having any bad PTUs. Now, let me give you something else to think about, Admiral. I don't know this. I'm just speaking speculatively a little bit here. Them moving into 4.0 says there's a lot of things that CIG has got to fix up and get ready for that. So it's not just about the things that they've outlined feature-wise. They're still fixing things like from the building blocks things. There's a lot of old code stuff that they're weeding out. There's a lot of stuff they have to do to get ready for server meshing. They can't take a lot of that old stuff in with them. So them needing this extra time, 3 months, and they said it may be longer, it may be less. They don't know. All they're trying to do is brace us for the fact that it's going to be not the normal quarter wait. If they happen to get it knocked out, then great. If they don't, we don't all freak out and say, hey, it's been 90 days. Where are you guys at? Because that's what the folks will do. Go ahead, Ray.
The roadmap roundup will probably eventually, when the roadmap gets updated, it'll be a 0.1, 0.2, and then 0.18. 19 and 20 will vanish with us tentatively getting that 4.0 release. And again, going back to also being here for 3.0, which was a massive foundational technology update and change. 3.18 is going to be massive in and of itself before 4.0 even goes to Evocati at the end of the year. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because it's been 10 years. It's time
this is a big
now.
Hump, right? This is the big hump.
Yeah, it's time. We're here. We are here. It took it was actually 8 months from 2.6.3 to 3.0. I was there. And it was frustrating. And then I got to set foot on Daymar for the first time.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the same thing. We're here. Sorry.
And I'm not trying to scare anyone, but I mean, in the gaming industry, it's often said that the last 10% takes as long as the first 90%, and I don't think that's going to be happening here. Hopefully not. But so we still have a way to go. So set your expectations.
I mean, he did mention beta. Like I don't have we ever heard him mention
that, right?
beta before?
Yep, you're right.
And we do know they're working on an unannounced star system, and it's not the one that's in Squadron. So if there's all this content that's just waiting for server meshing, it could be that we're not a decade away from beta.
We may be getting a lot more than we expect when they launch this stuff.
Exactly.
It's been said repeatedly. I mean, if you remember, I did an interview with 2 ex-CIG devs, board gamers, talked to the same guys. Both of those guys, like a year ago, said there's so much stuff that's already done, but they can't fit it until server meshing is done. I think once server meshing happens and they flip that switch, who knows? And maybe I'm thinking too high, maybe I'm thinking too low. But the point that I make is I don't think anyone outside of CIG's walls has any concept of how much stuff may or may not be ready to put in as soon as they flip that switch and they have a budget of assets that they can really work with.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. Pops, who was up next? Pops, I think.
I'm not gonna say because I don't want the show to go on too long because we said enough on the yacht club last night. So I'll just keep it, pass it to someone else.
Oh, okay. You sure? I mean, if it's something different, go ahead. Just toss it in. Go ahead.
No, it's basically the same. I was going to mention beta.
Okay.
Basically, being Fast Cart and I talked about Citizen Con last night, so it's basically everything that's already been said.
Okay, all right. Who else didn't jump in yet?
I'm good.
I got something. So it's really nice that they put a lot of emphasis on the persistent entity streaming because a good bit of the community were overlooking its importance and just looking at server meshing. While server meshing is really great and Pyro is exciting, Chad said it in the Calling of Devs in 2020 that the persistent streaming and global persistence is the foundation for server meshing. They get that thing out, and server meshing is just a ways away. So it's nice to see that they're emphasizing it, emphasizing on it. And let's not let's not sit on it, because it's the requirement for cargo refactor. It's a requirement for persistent hangars. It's a requirement for salvaging in terms of having the wreckage being left behind and those things. It's a requirement for many other things that depend on global persistence. For missions, if you exit the game and come back into it, you can continue the mission. It touches on a lot of things, just like how server meshing does.
Yes, good point.
I think Kai. Oh, he already left. But Kai is stepping out. He says he loves us and take care. No, take care, Kai. Thank you for being sitting in with us.
Yeah.
Take care, man.
Take care, Kai.
Mine would be. Oh, did DK jump in? DK, did you have something?
Sure. Okay. So, I'm gonna just do an overall review, I guess, to put it, of what we have here. And I'll first preface by saying there are so many people out there that put out, this is not the year for Star Citizen. This is not the year for Star Citizen. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to be a bunch of no content. Yeah. So for someone that's only been in the game for 3 years and only experienced this kind of a massive leap, I guess the biggest one I saw was moving into where we actually had persistence enough that we could keep our inventory and it wasn't wiped every patch. I think that was what, 3.7, I think, or 3.6, one of those two, when I came in. So for this to be, it's going to be an extremely big one. I like the fact that he was very upfront about the fact that it's going to be hard. It was a hard road getting here. It's going to be a hard road to get where we want to be for 4.0. We're going to extend some of these testing phases, whether it be Evocati and PTU, because we need to do the work and we want to do it right. And that's what I gathered from that. And I appreciate that. And I think it's great that they're going to concentrate on really making sure that this is done right. And they are confident that they can do it. They don't think they would have put this out there. They didn't put any dates on it. They said we would like to hope, we want to push to get PTU testing in, but never they said, oh, we're going to release 4.0 in Q1. We would like to, but we have to do the testing first. And I think that's really, really, really important. I thought that, or I think that what we're seeing is the beginning of the game. And this is where it all starts. I heard the word beta. Perhaps 4.0 is what we are going to be calling as a beta. Because this is basically where, this is basically where the biggest piece of what makes this, is what is going to make this game possible, is finally being implemented. And like they've been saying, everybody's been saying, is that for the last, up almost coming up on 10 years, this has been the goal, is to get this part of the development done so that everything else can now be put into the game. And like you were saying, there's a lot of stuff that's probably already been done. The planetary teams have been working. They didn't just sit back and just wait until server meshing's done. They have to continuously work. Everybody has to continuously keep going. And whether or not the tool is in there for them to implement it into the game, they still have to keep working. So we know that there's a lot of stuff that's done. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I say that, I expect that once this major leap is completed, that we're going to see leaps and bounds when it comes to updates and content introduction and everything along those lines. It's just going to exponentially grow quarter by quarter following 4.0 dropping. And I know, Admiral, you were talking about wanting to keep the quarterly releases. I'm glad that they're not going to right now, that they're not going to force quarterly releases to the end of the year. They're going to do what they need to do. 317.2 is going to be big enough in introducing more content, some gameplay things POIs, just things to keep us busy while they're working on getting this massive, massive piece of engineering into the verse itself. I'd rather them do that than try to force bits of some content in 317, in 318, in 319, in 320. Like Jaden Rain said, they're going to wipe 319 and 20 off the map. And it's going to be 318. And then 318 is going to be tested for a long time before we get to 4.0. And we're not going to even see testing for 4.0 until the end of the year. That's fine. I'm patient. At least we know that it's coming. It's out there. They are very confident that they're going to be able to pull this off. And when they said the Road to Pyro at the beginning of the year, people were like, oh, Road to Pyro, whatever. This is what they were talking about. They're confident that they could do it. And they just now are saying, okay, let's talk about it. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we've got done. Here's what we know is probably going to be a real hump, but we're going to need your help to test it. And we appreciate your patience for helping us get to where we are now. It's going to be a massive leap, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
That's good.
I think that's it.
That's good.
One.
Yeah, go ahead, Jake.
Yeah. So we've talked about development and the Road to Pyro and 4.0, but one of the things that struck me most about that letter was when they started talking about the expansion of the company itself. I mean, they're going to be coming up on almost 1,000 employees in the not too distant future. And looking at those new offices, like the internals of those offices, they're making it look like places inside the game. There's like something that looks like Grimhead.
Yes,
It's just
I was
really
that,
cool.
that was something I was going to talk about, but I cut it out.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. You can take it from there then.
Nope, he already talked. You go ahead and finish, Jake. Because I
Oh,
got to
no.
talk still.
Yeah, and I just think that is like super cool. Like I was thinking of it as, if you're a young developer that comes across Star Citizen and you decide you want to work for CIG, you walk in there and it looks like the game. Like I don't know much about like other studios or how they do things, but I mean that right there looks, groundbreaking to me. But again, I don't know. I'm not I'm not looking at Blizzard Studio or whatever, but yeah, that's all. I just thought that was amazing, and that's great for recruitment, I think.
Yeah, real quick, I'm just gonna say this looked like Kasaba to me. This looked like something from New Babbage, and this looked like something from also New Babbage. So, yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very cool stuff. Mine is going to be a little bit different. It's kind of a combination of what all of you all have been implying. There was something in the letter that struck me. It was the statements that they talked about iCache. Do you guys remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what he said was, and this is interesting because we've been hearing about iCache since 2017. Blah 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 blah. We've been waiting on iCache. But it was interesting. They revealed some stuff in the letter saying that what they thought would work wouldn't. And they had to scratch it and go back and come up with something that would achieve what they wanted to do. Now, there's a part of me that says, if they had told us that 2 years ago, how would the community felt? How would the community have received that? Would they receive it and said, oh, it doesn't work? Okay, well, let us know what you're going to do. Or was it better for them to work through it? And then after they got it and achieved it, say, hey, this is what we were going to do. It didn't work, but we came up with something that would achieve it. And I'm saying that because about this idea of transparency and people wanting CIG to tell us everything. I think there are times when they don't need to tell us everything. I think if their focus to achieve something is there and they want to work on it, and when they have their failures, sometimes, yeah, it's kind of cool to hear that, we thought this was going to happen, but we're doing this. But this was crucial. This was really big. We knew that a lot of the expansion of this game was contingent upon entity graph, persistence, meshing. And if that was foundational, if that foundation was rocked 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, I'm not so sure. Gomab was talking about how the community responds to stuff. I don't know, because there was a lot of lot counting on this. I like the fact that they said, we thought we had it together, but this didn't achieve it. So we went back and we redid some things, and now we know we can do it. For those of you who haven't tried anything persistent in the game recently, some of you all know that persistence has been real inconsistent. But Colossal and I were doing some stuff a few days ago. He's been living on his Carrack. I've been going on ships and loading inventories up, and something that happened that I've never had happen before. I loaded my 315's refrigerator up with drinks. I set a candy bar on the counter. I set a drink here. I did all this stuff, and I left, and I went away for a week. Didn't mess with the ships, came back, did it a couple times, and every time I came back, all those items were persistent in my ship. We have been having problems with the gun racks. Most of you all know you didn't even want to put stuff in gun racks because the stuff wouldn't stay. Colossal had put some stuff in his Carrack gun racks. He put pistols, rifles, went away. We came back, that stuff was there. They've been doing back-end stuff, not to mention the stuff that they're talking about. There are things that they're constantly doing to improve the game. And sometimes we don't see it. We miss it. But I just want to say the fact that this was a great letter. It gave a lot of detail. There was somebody who, I'll just say this, was salty about the new buildings because they felt like that was wasted money. I've seen other studios that do elaborate stuff in their studios. I've been in the Austin studio before. The Austin studio is not elaborate by any means. The most they have that's elaborate to me, it's not even elaborate. It's a balcony where they go take a break. So to me, as you said, Jade, for a studio that's going to be pushing up toward 1,000 people, been 10 years in existence, God bless them for being able to do it. Of course, we want them to manage the money well. We don't want them to, be too far ahead of themselves. But so far, their confidence has been in place when it comes to their finances. The revenue has come in over the last few years. If they're going to make a home, and obviously we know that Cloud Imperium is not just going to be about Star Citizen Gang. We know that. Whether it's about leasing tools, I mean, Rain, you've talked about this before. There's a whole lot of stuff that CIG can do beyond Squadron 42 and Star Citizen that will generate revenue for themselves. And I think they know what they're doing. Their investors have given them more money, not us. I mean, their investors have put in more money because they've seen behind the curtain what we haven't seen. So I think that things are going to be okay. Obviously, we want them to do the right thing. There is accountability to, obviously, to the backers, but even more to the people who've invested and put in the time there. And after 10 years, and I hate to say 10 years because we did that thing last week with Sandy, where Sandy said, yeah, but we all know about 2014, 15 is when it really got started. So we're really only about 7 years in, gang. Really, I hate to tell y'all this. I know people like to say 10 years.
Right.
They don't like to hear that,
right.
But we're really only about 7 years in, gang. Really. So I get it. It feels like it because of the announcement, but I mentioned this last week, and I'm going to talk about it this week on Saturday about No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky's people started in 2010. That's when they started in their heads. They announced it in E3 2013. It's 2022. The game is just now getting where they wanted it. 12 years. So understand, and that's a much smaller scale. I ain't talking about the universe. I'm talking about as far as what they're doing in that game in comparison to what Star Citizen is doing. So that's my pitch.
Sorry.
I'm done. Go ahead.
The last project I worked on was a little project called Grumpy Witch, which is a 2.5D Metroidvania platformer. 8 devs, 4 years, $3.75 million.
Wow.
And it didn't launch. It failed to launch. So, sorry, but people are always like, oh, 500 million. Yeah. Divide that by 10 years, right? 50 million a year.
That's nothing.
You got no problems with freaking Frontier making 98 million a year. Wait, what is this? It's the double
Rockstar makes
$100
million a year.
Yeah.
And don't talk about mobile games.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh God. No.
That's a money machine right there.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Printing money,
good point,
almost
Jay.
literally.
Rain. Yeah, good point, Rain. Yeah, good point.
Thank you. Did people realize the games industry made $278 billion worldwide last year? I'm just saying.
And think about how much money we've generated with the small population. It's not like there's millions and millions of us. You know what I'm saying? They only hit 2 million players recently. They got 3 million people signed up, but most of the people weren't even playing the game, and they generated that type of revenue. That's crazy when you think about it. A lot of money, but not in comparison to the numbers. You know what I mean? Industry-wise, you're right. You're absolutely right, Rain. Whew, God. Anyway, okay. Those are good things, guys. Those are all good. Please read the letter, you all. You may have to read I had to read the letter twice. I'm gonna read it a third time because there's a lot of information in there. that CIG shared with us. So when you guys find time to read it, feel free, dig into it. I think everybody's been feeling pretty positive about what they've read so far.
All right, so up next, we're going to skip a lot of stuff that I had planned, but we're going to jump right straight into IST. Okay. So here we go with IST.
Going to do something that we've not done in Star Citizen before. You're going to be forcibly boarding another ship.
You know, with the ships, it's always an advancement, right? So the MULE Legionnaire is our new ship. It's a boarding ship. It's for a 2-man crew and then 8 people in the back. And basically, it's essentially for a hostile takeover. I think this is a very sort of iconic looking ship. We did some really cool stuff in like the experimental phase. We had like sort of crazy arms and things that could basically sort of latch onto ships. But I mean, ultimately, because you've got to take into account all the other ships that are in the universe that can be boarded, you kind of have to come up with a really sort of simple universal system, which is kind of why on this Legionnaire it is such a simple mechanic, essentially.
The Legionnaire fills a gap in our lineup for both more lawful and less lawful careers where you need to take charge of another person's ship. Traditional flow for ship-to-ship docking is the person who wants to dock to the other ship requests it from the parent ship, and it's on the parent ship's pilot to accept or deny that, whereas the Legionnaire has onboard hacking abilities using the hacking minigame to perhaps forcibly override that acceptance and allowing it to happen instead. For players that are on the lawful side, its prime use is bounty hunting. For those perhaps with more military focus, it is like Anvil's dedicated military boarding ship. And for those on the other side of the spectrum, piracy is its main role. So you are there able to attach and board other ships and take their crew, goods, or ship itself. That's the Anvil Legionnaire. Looking forward to this one because it's a ship that appeals to both sides of the law. It brings with it a new side to an existing gameplay loop or existing gameplay loops. It expands upon them, and it's something that I know a lot of players have been waiting for a long time, is that the ability to board other ships forcibly, because it takes away that safety a lot of players have at the moment where, well, I'm safe on my ship, no one's coming on here without destroying me. So people are really going to have to start thinking twice when these things hit the persistent universe.
Invictus Launch Week is back, starting tomorrow as we welcome the UEE Naval Fleet to the Planet Crusader for this year's event. Now, throughout the festivities, you can test fly military vehicles for free, experience new releases like the Anvil Legionnaire, rediscover old favorites, and tour an in-service Javelin destroyer. But how did it come to be in the fiction of our persistent universe? Let's go now to members of the narrative team to learn more.
I think a lot of people still find Invictus inspiring, and I think people need to know that the Navy's there protecting them. And I think getting to go to these events, getting to tour these large ships, and seeing how strong the UAE is very reassuring to a lot of the citizens and civilians in the UAE.
When Invictus originated, it was way back in 2542, and this was about a year into the First Tavaran War.
Tavaran War was the first time that the humans actually needed to organize a straight-up military.
So you imagine then you have this war kicking off, they need to recruit a bunch of starmen, you have these, farmers, these people from the city who need to get to boot camp and had no way of getting there.
Because ships weren't as widespread or as common among the public at that time,
The ship named the Invictus was tasked with going around to all the systems and gathering up the recruits
as a way to not only kind of like drum up some support for the war effort, but to also bring them into a basic training.
And that's kind of how this event started. It would be this kind of big week of all the families saying goodbye to the young recruits reporting to war, and it kind of evolved from there.
So over the years, under the Messer regime, some criticized their Invictus events as being a little too political, a little bit too focused on the propaganda. But once the Messer regime fell in 2792, the event returned back to its roots about focusing on the Navy and the support and the really cool ships and equipment that they use in the defense of the Empire.
Invictus in the toy era started to be reshaped into the Invictus we know today, where there was a push to remake the Navy, to make it a noble institution once again. And so I think this more kind of celebratory aspect of recruitment and showing people what the Navy was all about, putting these ships on display, showing that we are united in purpose, as my hat says. Now, there still are detractors to Invictus. There was a great showdown post that we had that showed like people think it's spending too much of the public's money, that it's really just free advertising for the ship manufacturers, putting forth kind of a false front rather than showing the Navy how it really is.
The modern view of Invictus, I think, is still that sort of aspirational. It's meant to be that sort of thing of, it's a celebration of duty in a way.
It has a lot of kind of really fun family-friendly elements to it, including very cool like stunt flying done by the 999 famous Reckless Squadron.
I mean, it's always cool to see gigantic, powerful military ships up close and in person.
I think the way that the UEE is approaching it, as this is, again, a way for people to come together to celebrate those who are putting something on the line.
So in general, it's kind of a staple event of the UEE every year, and something that a lot of people around the Empire look forward to.
So what did we learn about this week? Well, we learned that the Anvil Legionnaire is the first ship dedicated to breaching and boarding other ships, which isn't always the nice thing to do, but sometimes necessary. And that Invictus Launch Week has become a mainstay of the Persistent universe over the years, as well as your chance to tour the interior of a Javelin destroyer, if you're into that sort of thing. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. That's the new Manchester office. Maybe we'll go inside next week. We will. See you then.
Yeah, we're not done yet. Gonna let it play. All right, everybody, we're here. Let's go in order. Emma Kusanagi, what are your thoughts?
It was pretty good. Looking forward to everything coming up, and go from there. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Dark Knight.
Yeah. Looking forward to celebrating Invictus with everyone this week. And I thought the Pico at the end was from that Machinima that we saw. He's taking revenge and he came back.
He got bigger.
He got bigger, so maybe CIG saw that Machinima, decided to bring Pico back, but no.
It's over big, or they just zoomed in real close.
I don't know.
Right?
He's big enough to carry a gun.
Yeah, big enough to carry a gun. There you go. But yeah,
all right,
pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Face to face, what are your thoughts?
It's pretty cool. I know we all talked about the Legionnaire already, so I won't rehash that. Definitely looking forward to Invictus, and glad to see they talked a little bit and touched on it, the history of it, and as we all know, Pico for the win.
Only if you're on the right side, right? Go, Matt. What do you
Doesn't
thought?
matter. It's only one side when it's Pico.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Pico side is the right side. Go, Matt. What do you thought?
I mean, the only thing I thought was like, was he the only person on that Carrack? I mean, who flies a Carrack solo? It's a multi-cruise ship. What are you doing, Jeff?
I do.
It's the guy from the Carrot commercial. He was on solo too.
Yeah, I fly mine solo, but no, yeah, I'm excited to see what comes out. What new ships are released in the Invictus. As a lot of you guys might know, I'm supposed to be on a trip right now, and for reasons I am not. So I imagine I would have spent a copious amounts of money on that trip. So why not buy spaceships? You know, man.
Oh, okay.
See,
Jade, what do you thought?
yeah, it's always good, to see Invictus or it's good to see this come around. I always thought that there should have been something in the spring that was like the IAE, and when they introduced Invictus, that totally scratched that itch. So I was, I'm happy to see that. As a Levski resident, I think it's good that the people that pay taxes in the UE get to see where their money's spent, but it's a little too militaristic for me. So that's all.
Colorado.
Damn, FC, you didn't make a joke about she needs to get that itch checked out? Dude, you're
No,
slipping.
no. Don't encourage him. See, that's what happens, right?
You did it for me, Go Mad.
You told me to rein him in, and you're trying to bring him back.
You did it for me. Colorado, what are your thoughts?
It's nice to see this event, persisting throughout the years. And I know that a lot of new players are going to be, quite impressed by it. Especially since even though a lot of the ships that are quote unquote old to us, we may think that it's the new ships that may be driving sales, but a lot of the new backers that have been coming in over the recent months, these older ships are going to be new to them too, and the ability for them to try out these ships are also going to be contributing to the sales. So it's really nice to hear more about the lore, especially. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking out the new ships, and some of the old ones that I don't own, and just checking out the ambience of Invictus on Crusader. That's it.
Okay, thank you. I was Barton. How about you?
Muted.
Yeah, I guess he's still muted. Okay, I thought it might come back. Pops, how about you?
I don't know how many ships have come out. I don't recollect how many ships have come out before Invictus, but this one seems to have a lot, so maybe that's a upward trend in the amount of ships we're going to get in the future during the event each year. And the other thing is, this is why I told Jake we need Pico in the verse and Pico in the win for the win.
All right. Griffin, how about you? What are your thoughts? Oh, I'm sorry. Rain is back. Rain, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, a little underwhelming compared to last ISC, but then I'm also a lore nerd, so I really like. I know people don't. There are some salty people in the community that hate when they're not talking about making the game. They're talking about, concept and lore and stuff like that. But
Lore is part of the game. It's the foundation for the world we live in, the universe.
I know we both know that, but
Yeah.
still.
No.
No, it was good. All hail Pico. And as somebody else said, I think it was Kalrani, and hanging out with the Skunkworks over the last almost year, time and time again, new people coming in. People tell them to buy an Avenger. People, they buy a Cuddy, they buy a Gladius. Hey, I want a 300, or I want a this or that or the other. As was said, it really is the older ships. It really isn't. I mean, they don't just vanish into antiquity,
Well, you got the Saber and you got the Hornet, so
I mean, I fly the Hornet, but
I fly the Saber.
All right. Griffin, how about you? What are your thoughts?
No, it's all good stuff. The lore, we've talked about this from last year. We were saying that we hope that CIG would expand on Invictus, because we noticed last year that people were just kind of going to the showroom, and then once they'd done that, that was it, especially because they opened it up in the PTU. So we had been hoping that they were going to add more. And so it's nice that they're, rehearsing the lore a little bit more, getting people more involved in understanding where it comes from and why it's being done. We know that they've got some dynamic events set up that they're working on. And again, I'm hoping it becomes just literally what they said, a recruitment period where you go and sign up, that there's someone at one of those desks that's normally not manned by somebody. I really hope that they do start to introduce that in with the AI. And of course, what we saw at the beginning was good stuff. We kind of touched on that already with the new ship. So yeah, it's good stuff.
I want to see that AI do those formation flights. Kind of like Tirada. You saw the Tirada video where they were flying the Scorpius.
Yeah, it's very cool with the
yes.
fire, with the flames coming
Yeah.
out.
That was a cool video.
I
Yeah.
want to see the concierge area they're putting in here that we can go in there, right?
Yeah.
The Chairman's Club.
That'd be cool.
Chairman's
Yeah,
Club.
the Chairman's Club.
Open it up.
If you look in there, you can see they've done some stuff in there. Whether it's going to be open or not, I hope they do open it soon. But it
I
looks
want
nice.
live entertaining.
Hopefully,
right
it's
there.
open by CitizenCon.
I'm hoping
I'll
that
be
they open it this
able to get
weekend.
in there by CitizenCon.
we gotta have a snobs meeting in there when it first.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, we can already go into the Million Mile High Club if we want to. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well,
We'll work it
Kusanagi, man, that's going to be one of those things that's coming in 317 too, and you say you don't want that bad. So if it comes out, you can't go in there. No,
I'm just going into the Molotov cocktail. That's the only reason I'm going. Burn the joint down.
All I gotta say is Pico for the win.
It's good stuff. Yeah, it was Pico.
Pico for the win. All right, so I think that's it for ISC. Up next, we have our Machinima. It is going to be Star Citizen 1 iNews, Redline Episode 3. EE Studios coming back again. So you've already seen the first two. This is it's not quite that long, so it shouldn't be too bad. But here it is, Redline Episode 3.
Now, that last one scared you all, so just be aware, be ready, okay? This is Elite Expeditionary again.
Hi, I'm Natronics, and you're watching Redline, your source for adventurous stories throughout the verse. Today's segment gets us balls deep into the tailgate lifestyle of Stanton's Gray Market, an industry initiative frowned upon by most commercial authorities, although few vendors have ever been caught breaking the law. In a system like Stanton, where megacorporations have the financial market in a full Nelson, average Joes in their dreams have had to get creative with how to make a living of their own. Join me as I stock up with the merchants of Gate Catering and see if it's still possible to make an honest buck outside the confines of the corporate world. I rendezvoused with the vendors at an undisclosed location, where they were engaged in combat with a member of Stanton Security. After turning a blind eye from the cold-blooded murder I just witnessed, I topped off on some quantum fuel and clumsily made my way aboard their starfare and greeted the captain like an absolute tool bag.
Hey, yeah. If I asked you for a box of StimCalf animal style, how many salvo rounds would you give me? Is there a code word to use if one were to say, want a side of railguns with their bratwurst? Get it?
I like that one.
You don't have to laugh.
I like that one. I want to laugh. Good, tell me when I laugh.
Oh, you're right, I'm on your ship. You got a big gun at your back. I better listen to you.
So, how did this whole operation originate?
Well, I arrived in Stanton after a prolonged period of cryosleep, and I wasn't ready to fly yet. So I just strolled around the spaceport and I grabbed myself a fizz and I grabbed myself a hot dog and I was like, well, I can get those here, but I can't get them out in space. And I started delivering fizz and hot dogs to people all around Stanton.
Nice. What are you guys doing today?
Today we're running Freeway Frankfurt. Off the back of this beautiful Starfarer Gemini. While we refuel people, as a little incentive, we have a can of free fizz for every customer. And we have some fresh fruit from all around the UAE Empire, the Empire.
You're saying that I get a free fizz with my fuel up?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me, how not illegal is this really? Have you ever had any run-ins with local authority? I beg your pardon?
I bring you this box.
I don't want the box, dude. What? I don't get it. Why don't you... Do you speak English? I don't want the box.
Ach, das ist deine Box.
What?
Die soll ich dir bringen? Bitteschön.
What the hell is everyone talking about? What is that? German? I can't eat all these Frankfurters, bro. I get sick. I don't want it. Thank you.
Ja, das ist deine Box. Ich soll sie dir bringen. Bitteschön. Hab Spaß damit.
Wow, this music is really cool.
Zur Hölle mit dir.
What?
Zum Teufel, lass mich allein.
Free fizz my ass. This shit is flat. Ow! So can I buy my bullets by weighing a bag on a scale, or do you guys do it by caliber? How much have you had to drink today?
As the day wore on, we swung by a local station to acquire some hookers before linking up with a few more vendors nearby.
So, what kind of apples and oranges are you selling?
So the kind that blow the head off of any mother trucker you don't want coming aboard your ship.
I'm at sea, I take it.
Oh yeah. Unless you want something strong enough to blow the Port All-Star out of orbit.
You mean, banana?
I mean some nuclear warhead. Fucking idiot.
So, is this your first time partaking in the gray market?
No, I'm sort of a gray market groupie, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yep. I manage the Garcia's Greens in New Babbage, and these guys always have the best deals on fresh fruit.
Garcia's Greens. That's a good one. Is that code for bounty hunter or something?
No. What?
What caliber fruit do you normally pluck around here?
The fresh kind? I'm gonna go now.
After a long day of selling just about everything you can imagine, and perhaps a little bit of my soul as well, I realized my Nomad was missing. Luckily, my friends at Gate Catering tracked it down the next morning, about to be scrapped in a junkyard, where I was able to buy it back just in time. Take it from me, that was one tough Frankfurter to swallow. That concludes this episode of Redline. If you've got something adventurous to share, reach out via the HubNet link below, and you just might see it here. Until next time, this is Natronics, over and out.
Alrighty then. Hopefully that'll be on loop. So yeah, that was an interesting episode. Let's start in the middle. Jade, what are your thoughts?
I absolutely love anything Natronics and the Elite Expeditionary do. I'm so happy that they've teamed up with HubNet, which is Oliver Zark's organization or news org. Yeah, it's great. I thought it was funny, especially he's like, what caliber fruit Like he'd never heard of Garcia's Greens before. He'd never been there. So he's like, yeah, I think they did a good job. A good use of FOIP. Yeah, it's just good. Top
Yeah, I think
notch.
they've gotten better.
Yeah, they keep getting better and better. And the cool thing about them working with HubNet is that they're going to be producing stuff way more frequently now. You probably noticed their cadence is up, and that's a function of that.
Carlotti,
all.
what are your thoughts?
I always enjoy the dialogue in these kinds of machinimas. It's very creative, and seeing these two bodies, work together definitely gives a testimony to the kind of quality that we're continuously getting out of the community. So that's something that definitely stood out for me. That dialogue, the quality of the dialogue, the conversations, the uh, the silence that came out of certain statements that just made the whole situation kind of awkward. So I really enjoyed all of that. So great job. That's it for me.
I think Irish Barton is still AFK, so I'm going to go to Pops. Pops, what do you thought?
Yeah, when I doing refueling, I'm staying on my own ship, not getting off and going inside. No, it was cool. It was just a weird encounter on the ship, that the refueling your ship. But yeah, good job, good work. It was really cool. The dialogue was fun.
All right. Kusanagi, what are your thoughts about that?
I just want to ask Pops though, but if you don't do that, you're gonna miss out on some hot dogs. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, double dogs.
There could be some hot dogs involved, maybe some flat fizz.
Yeah.
But it was pretty fun. It was kind of funny because someone in chat was like, "Is this the same?" I think it was like Black Sky Legion. Is this the same people that did the one with the dog or whatever? And
yeah,
as soon as he started up, I'm like, "Oh, this is definitely it." Yeah, the same people, because it was just the way it was kind of the language is right on topic. So but it was a good little thing, and I love the fact that they used the Christmas helmet here, because it was like, it just seemed like so absurd that this person has to be crazy. So it was really fun.
Yeah, a few pints short of something. I don't know what that's short of, but yeah, definitely. Dark Knight, what are your thoughts?
So when I started watching it, I had some reason Deadpool vibes. Don't know why, but it was just the way the dialogue that that the reporter has. It was just the way he phrases things or whatnot. It just gave me Ryan Reynolds vibes. But anyway, yeah, it was a little bit tamer than the last one, which is it was good. But I want to just echo what Jade said. This is just really cool to see this kind of collaborations coming together, and this is it's such a unique take on Zark Media is a little more serious, but this is this is kind of like that slapstick kind of this guy's just clueless pretty much. He just goes out there and and tries to figure things out and really has no clue what he's doing, but he's doing the best he can, and it's making it fun for us to watch him be a complete idiot. And I love it. And the Fizz Cola thing was just funny. I thought that was just hilarious. It's all about Fizz and hot dogs. It's like, really? But hey, it worked. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And yeah, Jade, the FOIP and VoIP. I mean, and the use of emotes and things like that. It just seems to be getting better and better. That people are starting to use those tools to their advantage. Like that last video that we saw was just so full of emotes that helps tell a story. And that it's just cool.
Give us more emotes.
Yeah, add more emotes. I mean, it really does help content creators, especially filmmakers, to it helps portray what's happening as opposed to just seeing a face talking. You've got movement. What was all with all the people in the background shooting stuff? I saw one guy shoot a medical gun, and then they shot him with a with the WoW blaster. I thought that was just hilarious. So.
It all adds to the humor.
It all adds to the humor. I just thought it was just great. Just little stuff going on in the background you didn't even think about. So cool stuff. Cool stuff.
The face. What are your thoughts? You don't have to make a decision this time.
It was funny. I was kind of curious on two things as to, the party scene on the ship that, I thought it was going to get crazier, and you never know, off camera it might, some ETAM or some Widow is involved in that Starfare. You never know. But anyway, also
Everybody
the other
knows
part
Neon is the party drug.
So the other part I was thinking of was that when he talked about the hookers, and I was like, okay, I want to see this. How's this gonna play out? So
that type of game.
Yeah, I was trying to figure this out. But that's my take on it.
Okay, go Mab. What are your thoughts?
First of all, one thing that really stood out to me is like, did that ship just sit there while they blasted it with the turret on the Starfarer? I mean, come on. Evasive actions, man. Serpentine motions. Something. Also, I love the fact that they've set the bar so low or high, depending on how you look at it, that you can't help but to pay attention to the video because you never know when they're going to completely jump the shark and say something completely outlandish. So, but it didn't disappoint by being uninteresting, even though they didn't jump the shark. So it was, very well done. Humorous. I enjoyed it.
How about you, Griffin? You watched this episode this time, were you?
Yeah, I mean, the episode was good. It's different. Like you all both, I think you and Jake were saying that they get better and better. I mean, a lot of the people that we've been watching, I mean, they're part of a series. This is their third episode. They've been gracious enough to, each time they finish an episode, drop me an email and say, hey, Griff, we're just putting out a new one, blah, 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 blah. And it's not that they're saying show it, but I appreciate the fact that they do let us know because there are so many that are being produced. And so it's nice to be able to follow up with them and also see the progression of how much better they're getting. Not only that, I'm also noticing how much better the game gets by watching these videos because I'm seeing the lighting passes, a lot of stuff, even certain uniforms that maybe I don't normally buy, things that I may thought looked ugly. I watch them in here and it's like, wow, that looks pretty cool. Like I never cared for that freaking moose head. I swear I didn't. I think it's cool now. I think it's cool. I mean, they found, I love when these people find those oddball items like the WoW pistol, like the Christmas tree helmet, and incorporate them in some way, because a lot of times we just kind of walk past that stuff and don't think anything about it, but it does bring something to the storytelling of the game. I'm looking at the Starfare lit up like that. Like it's gorgeous. The Starfare, we all remember when it first came out, all those lights and stuff weren't on there, but man, the lighting passes that they've done on these ships just bring them to life now. And it's just really nice to see. For anybody who says the Star Citizen is going to look old, I mean, man, they're staying with it. As far as I'm concerned, everybody wants to talk about Unreal 5 and nanites and all this other stuff, but as far as I'm concerned, the game looks good. I love it.
Only if you're looking at a wreck or one of those things on a planet that's been there for a while. That's the only time it looked old. So yeah, the decorations that they had, I think I've seen it before. I've just forgotten about it. It's a weird look. Yeah, definitely a weird look. And I was just thinking, somewhere through the video, I was thinking, this Starfare is like the Hotel California. You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. That's what that's the thought I had. So yeah, but I enjoyed it. The voice was great. The voice acting was great. Yeah, no real complaint.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite songs of all time, Fast Card, and you almost ruined it. Sorry.
Alrighty.
Well, I'll try harder next time. All right, so up next we have a Bar Citizen coming up on May 28th at 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. That's 2 weeks now. No, a week. A week, yeah, a week.
Virtual bar citizen.
Virtual,
bar
yeah,
citizen.
my bad. You're right. Virtual bar citizen. So it's Invictus 2952 virtual bar citizen. I recently added it to the bar citizen. No, I submitted it to the barcitizen.sg website. So hopefully people will be seeing it there. So yeah, we had quite a few turnout. I got pictures from up from October 8th, the April 2nd one. People hoping people can come and have fun.
And I think we're over 85 people. Is that right?
Yeah, we are. In fact, I've got to do some expansion. I forgot to do it today because we're going to probably go over 100 based on the reservation. So yeah. We were at 85 as of yesterday. We were at 84 or 85 yesterday.
Come on, join the fun, people.
Yeah, like I said, it's 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC, May 28th, Saturday. So we'll talk about Invictus, how much money we spent, and how empty our wallets are. But up next we have our next show. I forgot to put this in rotating text, but we're changing our time for Soul Voices. Instead of 1 p.m. Eastern, it'll be 3 p.m. Eastern, and so that's 7 p.m. UTC. And also Soul Talk, this show right here is going to continue on at 9 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UTC. So yeah, it's the Soul Voices, the show where we talk about what's going on in the community. We take thread from Reddit, Spectrum, and something from the industry. Griffin, you want to take on? It's Kaizen in here, but you want to take on Sunday's show?
Yeah, and this Sunday we're continuing with our series on careers. We're going to be talking about transport careers, civilian transport, VIP transport, all that good stuff. As you can see there, the highlighted ship there is the Genesis Starliner, but we're not just going to talk about the Genesis Starliner. We're going to be talking about what does it take to be a transport person in Star Citizen. It is much more than many of you think. There is a whole criteria. Did you know, Fast Cart,
more.
Did you know, Fast Cart, you have to get a license to do transport? Did you know that with the UEE?
No,
did you know that?
I didn't know that.
See there you go. So see, Fast Cart needs to be there then. Yeah, you have to have a license.
I do
yes.
it in real life.
No, in game, right? Dark Knight in
Oh,
game.
I got so much to talk about on that show.
Yeah, there's a lot of
when
stuff
it comes
people
to
don't
logistics.
know. You got to
and
qualify,
brokering
a whole
and-
bunch of stuff.
Oh boy,
that's right. So you guys make sure you come. DK's going to be on. I'm going to be on. Colossal might even drop in. But we're going to be talking about the transport career this Sunday. So for those of you who are interested in how to make money, you all see those at the spaceport where those where they have passenger stuff. Guess who's going to be using that stuff? So yeah, that's it.
So Griff, is it 8 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Eastern?
Our time on Sunday is remaining the same. The shows that are changing is the Thursday show and the Saturday show.
Yeah,
Thursday starts 1 hour earlier, and Saturday starts 2 hours later. But
yeah, I'm just
Sunday
going to
is still
cover
the same.
Soul Talk. Soul Talk is this show where every Thursday 9 p.m. Eastern, Friday 1 a.m. UTC, where we talk about what's going on in the community and talk about ISC and everything. People are just coming in at the tail end, so that's what Soul Talk is about. I want to thank Griffin for making a new promo or editing the old promo with a new time and record time. So I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, I think that's it. Before I forget, DK and I will be on the People's Radio this weekend. I will be on 21 UTC Friday, 1700, 5 p.m. Eastern. I'll have Flight to Rhythm on, so I'm looking forward to people hearing this show. I put a lot of work into it, and I'm proud with this show. I try not to be too perfectionist with it, but eventually I'd say, okay, this is done. I'm ready to submit it. Go ahead.
You always do such a good job.
Yeah,
with
you're
series.
always
You
on
Yeah,
point.
it's excellent.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank
And
you.
my
I
show's
appreciate
on
that.
Saturdays, 10 p.m. UTC, and Sunday mornings, 10 to 8 a.m. UTC. And that'll be DK's house sessions. And I have a new drop coming this week. And yeah.
Tell them where they can find it, please. You guys tell them where
People
it's at.
Radio on Twitch.
Yeah, the People's Radio
On what?
on Twitch.
On Twitch.
There we go.
On Twitch
Yeah.
at twitch.tv/the People's Radio. Right now we're doing an update, so we're not live right now. Also on Mixcloud at mixcloud.com/live/The People's Radio and at the website, thepeoplesradio.space.
Thank you, Jay.
Also, Oliver Zark Media, they're doing a live stream, their first live stream tomorrow. So
Cool.
check out his channel.
What time is that going to be on?
I don't know. I don't know.
Take a look. We're gonna take a look. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I just want before we go, I just want to put out my thank yous. This time last week, I had to leave a little early because I had to get an MRI on my liver actually, and thinking about it could be cirrhosis or liver cancer or something like that. It was a pretty rough week last week, and I know when I left, there was a lot of best wishes here in chat and from the community, and everything came back clear. I do have some stuff that they're trying to figure out, but at least my internal organs in that area seem fine. So yeah, it was kind of but definitely when we talk about this in the community quite some time, is like I still want to be around when the PU comes out, and last week was like I want to be around when Squadron 42 comes out, because I didn't know if I was ever going to see the PU. So but I just want to thank everyone for the best wishes, and Lucky 13 worked out for me again, because that's when the MRI happened, and when I got the good news. So just thank you again for everybody that wished me best of luck.
You're more
love
than
to hear
welcome. You're more than welcome.
Glad you're still around, bro.
Yeah.
And don't forget, people can become a soul bro, soul sis, or soul mate. Membership has its privileges, so click that join button to you want to show support. You can also support us on Patreon and buy merchandise if you feel so inclined. I want to say thank you to everyone who's been with us today. Amo Kusanagi, Dark Knight, Space, Go Map, Jade, Kalrati, Isles Barton, Cotton Face, Rain Cloud, and Kaizen for sitting in for the start of the show. And also thank you for Griffin Gaming RPG for being a co-host as usual. So appreciate it. Don't forget you can follow us on social media. We're everywhere. Soul Citizens with an S on the end everywhere. You can buy merch, clothing, mugs, what have you. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to show your appreciation for the channel. We appreciate it, and it really helps us out. And with that, I think that's it. So, Griffin, before we go, I just got to say, your recommendation for movies has been revoked. So I'm just letting you know, because I didn't get a chance to tell you that at the beginning of the show, so I'm telling you that at the end of the show. So no more recommendations for you.
I hate to say that. Did Fast Card phase out on you guys?
Oh yeah, I thought that was you.
Yeah, you completely phased out, which meant that whatever you were trying to say wasn't necessary to be said to me, probably. But
That was the internet
one more
content
time,
filter.
'cause it literally phased out every time you were trying to say whatever the point was. All I heard was "and Griffin," blah 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 blah. So what were you saying? What happened?
Never mind. I'm just saying peace, love, and soul. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
Take care,
Good
all.
night, folks.
Later.
Night.